Chapter 28:16. President Su. You're back. Niao Lingxian smiled sweetly. Why are you here? I recorded an exclusive interview last night, and coincidentally, it happened to be near you. I heard from the people in the company that your mental state hasn't been very good recently. I guess you've been too busy and tired recently, so I made some bone soup for you. It has my mother's secret recipe in it. It's very delicious. But I already had supper, Su said bluntly. Oh, I see. You can put it in the fridge and heat it up when you want to eat it. It won't spoil. Okay then. Thank you. Su didn't give Niao Lingxian too much face. After all, she was one of the most popular artists in the company. You're welcome. As an employee, it's my duty to care about President Su. You've been working hard for us. We feel bad that you haven't been resting well, so I came to see you on behalf of everyone. I really don't mean anything else. Niao Lingxian knew her place and wouldn't confess too much to Su or make things difficult for Su. Okay, I got it. It's late. Let and drive you home. It's me again. And was sleepy and reluctant to walk Niao Lingxian home when President Su asked him to take her home. It's okay. My nanny van is parked over there. I'll give you the soup when I see you. Remember to drink it. Okay. Su nodded mechanically. Then I'll go now. Take care, President Su. Okay. Su felt the atmosphere was weird. After Niao Lingxian left, Su looked back at and, why are you still standing there? Are you not going home? Are you going to spend the night at my place? No. I'm just checking if you have any tasks for me. After all, many female artists are knocking on your door in the middle of the night. Haha. You're asking for a beating, aren't you? Go back to sleep. Su couldn't help but laugh. This was a joke from a long time ago. At that time, Imperial Star wanted to create a new batch of stars. Many young girls from the Academy of Arts wanted to take shortcuts in order to become famous overnight. It was unknown where he had found out Su's address, but he had been waiting here without sleeping or resting. Some of them wore very revealing clothes, while others had hundreds of thousands in cash in their pockets. Some were even funnier, carrying 2 baskets of eggs. Was this the rhythm of giving gifts? There was another one who was the most ridiculous. He directly rushed out to block Su's car and was almost killed. Later, he was sent to the hospital in time to be diagnosed as a minor injury, but Su disqualified him from the competition. For the sake of their future, these young ladies were willing to risk everything. Su actually wanted to see what kind of girl Huamin was. What kind of girls were Huamin in her teens and Huamin in her early 20s? She was never the most dazzling in the crowd, but she always gave people a very complicated feeling, as if they had seen her before. Looking at Qin Chu's busy back, Huamin felt a warmth in her heart. Mr. Qin was such a man of action. He would always show his good to you through his actions. How could she not be happy living with such a man for the rest of her life? When Huamin was 2 months pregnant, her morning sickness was much better and she had a good appetite. She often ate supper and snacks to allay her hunger. On the other hand, after Zhang Manlin returned to the staff dormitory, she was still anxious. Chapter 28:18. Qing wouldn't have come to her for no reason. He must have received orders from Huasiqian. Judging by Qing's attitude towards her, she knew that Huasiqian thought she had betrayed him. In reality, Zhang Manlin didn't betray him. Being kidnapped in the mountains was an accident. Otherwise, she would have asked Huasiqian to send the children to Qinghe town. At that time, as a wanted criminal, she had nowhere else to go. But in this way, he somehow became Chin Chu's hero. Not only did the twins change their attitude towards her, but she also successfully entered GK. This was a good thing, and she should be happy. However, she felt uneasy. Just like today, when Ah Ching almost strangled her to death, Chin Chu's men arrived in time. It seemed like he cared about her, but was that really the case? She had been Hua Xichin's chess piece for 5 years. She knew what he was capable of. If Hua Xichin really thought she betrayed him on purpose, then she should be in danger right now. Therefore, Zhang Manlin was faced with 2 choices. First, go back to Hua Xichin, explain everything clearly, continue to be his spy, and help him complete his big plan. Once Hua Min was taken away by Hua Xichin, she could have Chin Chu for herself. Second, go to Chin Chu and tell him everything. Ask for protection and draw a clear line between her and Hua Xichin. However, neither Chin Chu nor Hua Xichin was easy to deal with. For the first time in her life, Zhang Manlin was in a dilemma. 6 a.m. at the Hua mansion, Hua Xichin came downstairs on time. He was wearing a pink shirt and black trousers that he hadn't worn in a long time. There was a hint of gloominess on his face. The leather watch on his wrist was a limited edition Patek Philippe, showing off the owner's noble and luxurious status. "Boss, good morning." Ah Ching stood across from Hua Xichin. "Ah Ching, sit. Let's eat something together." "Boss, I have something to report." "No rush. Eat first." Hua Xichin's expression was calm. Ah Ching didn't dare to say anything. He sat across from Hua Xichin and looked at the sumptuous breakfast on the table. He didn't dare to move. "Here, try this. Is it good?" Hua Xichin pushed a bowl of sticky yellow porridge towards Ah Ching. Ah Ching picked up a small spoon and ate slowly. "When I was very young, my biological parents sent me to the Hua family. My adoptive mother was a very hot-tempered woman. Because she never loved me, she poured all her hatred on me and tortured me as much as she could. I remember one time when I was locked up in a warehouse for 2 days and 2 nights and was starving. After she let me out, she ordered someone to give me a bowl of porridge. Because I was so hungry, I wolfed down the porridge. After I swallowed it, I realized that the porridge was very hot. It was a special kind of rice called yellow rice and its temperature was very high. Even if it was soaked in cold water, it looked warm on the surface, but when it was eaten, it was unbearably hot in the stomach. That time, my esophagus was severely damaged, and my adoptive mother just stood there and watched coldly as I rolled on the ground and screamed. Moreover, she derived great pleasure from my painful expression. Ah Ching didn't understand why his boss suddenly said this. He suddenly felt that his boss was very pitiful when he was young. Therefore, he gritted his teeth and said, "Boss, I'll kill your mother for you." "No, that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is that I suffered so much, but I didn't die. I came back to life. I knew that God wanted me to live for another reason. Until one day, I saw my Hua Min." When he spoke of Hua Min, Hua Xichin's lips curled up into the warmest smile. Even the people around him rarely saw such a warm smile on his face. "After all, you used to be family. I think she just wants to stand on her husband's side, that's why, but it's okay. I don't blame her. In this world, only she can get my forgiveness no matter how she hurts me." Ah Ching was silent after hearing this. His eyes even looked a little confused. He had never liked someone so much, so he couldn't understand his boss's almost crazy state for a woman. "Ah Ching." "Yes, boss." "How are the wedding preparations going?" "Everything is ready, but Miss Yen doesn't seem to be in a good mood," Ah Ching replied carefully. Chapter 28-20. Don't worry about her. She's just a pawn. Hua Xiqian didn't seem to care about any woman other than Hua Min. Yes, but I'm worried. When Ah Ching said this, he hesitated. Go on. Hua Xiqian finished his breakfast and wiped his mouth elegantly with a tissue. Boss, I'm worried that Jack will come out and cause trouble. That would be bad. You know how he is. Ah Ching told Hua Xiqian about his split personality. It was taboo for him and no one would talk about it. Jack's brother. No, he won't have a chance to come out. I recently increased the dosage. Hua Xiqian was full of confidence. Boss, didn't the doctor say that the dosage can't be increased anymore? I think you can go back and see Dr. Matthew, okay? We don't have much time left. I finally got an extra week from Ian because I don't want any accidents to happen at the wedding. But... Ah Ching seemed to have something he didn't want to say. No buts. This time, we must succeed. Qin Chu and I have to fight. If we win, I can get what I want. If we lose, the worst that can happen is death. When Hua Xiqian said this, his expression was very calm, as if life and death were no big deal to him. Boss, you won't lose. You will win. After all, this is the big plan we've been thinking about for years. Ah Ching tried to boost his confidence. GK headquarters. Zhang Manlin appeared at the door of the president's office in a sexy suit. Bella just came out of the office after delivering the documents. She immediately looked at her with disgust. Good morning, Sister Bella. Why are you looking for the president? He's in a meeting, Bella said coldly. I know. I won't take up too much of his time. If there's anything, you can talk to me and Director Jing. Don't trouble President Qin. He's so busy every day and doesn't have time to worry about these small things. But there are some things that I want to talk to President Qin in private, Zhang Manlin provoked slightly. Zhang Manlin, you know very well how you got into the company. You must know how to be grateful and cherish your opportunities. Don't do anything that will bring shame to yourself. You're a woman in your 20s, and you're not married yet. Don't let people criticize you behind your back. That's not good. I hope you can do good for your parents. Hee, Big Sister Bella, isn't our company in charge of our employees' work? Since when did you teach us how to behave? You. Bella didn't know what to say. Besides, even if it's education, it's not up to you, Sister Bella. You're also an unmarried woman. You don't even know how to behave yourself. What right do you have to teach me? I respect you, and I'm giving you face by calling you sister. But don't be so shameless. I, Zhang Manlin, am not that easy to bully. Zhang Manlin, how can you talk to me like that? I'm your boss. Bella was so angry that she couldn't breathe. She didn't expect Zhang Manlin to be so arrogant. Moreover, it was in front of President Qin's office. Superior. You. Hee, I'm really sorry. I only have one boss, President Qin. Some people don't know what's good for them and flatter themselves. You're just the president's brother-in-law's girlfriend. You really think you're something. Then, Zhang Manlin didn't wait for Bella's reply. She knocked on the door and walked into Qin Chu's office. Bella stood at the door with a sour expression. For the first time, she felt that Zhang Manlin wasn't easy to deal with because she was shameless. Chapter 28-21. President Qin. As soon as Zhang Manlin entered the room, she changed her expression completely. His angry glare and sarcastic words towards Bella were gone, replaced by a face full of smiles. What is it? Qin Chu lowered his head and didn't look at her. I have something to tell you. Go ahead. President Qin, can you listen to me carefully? Because, what I'm about to say is really important. Zhang Manlin took the initiative to ask Qin Chu to pay attention to her because she was important. However, Qin Chu didn't give her face. Instead, he replied coldly, "You can talk. I'll look at my documents. It won't be a problem." "Okay, President Qin. Here's the thing. I've decided to tell you something about Hua Xiqian's 5-year plan." Hua Xiqian's 5-year plan. Qin Chu couldn't help but raise his head when he heard this. "Yes. Hua Xiqian found me 5 years ago and asked me to imitate Hua Min. Then, I purposely appeared to get close to you and confuse you. All of this was just to pave the way for the 5-year plan." "What's the 5-year plan?" Qin Chu asked. "It's embarrassing to talk about it because you know Hua Xiqian. He's very suspicious. Other than his confidant Qing, he doesn't trust anyone." "So?" Qin Chu raised his eyebrows. "So, I don't know the details of the 5-year plan. I only know that he might use some method to deal with you and then kidnap Hua Min. Because Hua Xiqian always said that he likes your wife, Hua Min, very much," Zhang Manlin said. "You sure know a lot." Qin Chu said coldly. "Not a lot. I just know that he has a warehouse at Golden Harbor. There are a lot of weapons in there. Because he had a good relationship with customs, no one checked it. I've never been there and I don't know how many there are. One time, I accidentally heard one of his subordinates mention it. But as far as I know, it should be heavy weapons. I don't know if there are explosives or something like that. So, President Qin, you have to be careful. I'm curious. Why are you suddenly telling me this?" Qin Chu looked at Zhang Manlin and asked expressionlessly. I'm not afraid that you'll laugh at me. I'm at the end of the road. Although you arranged bodyguards to protect me, Hua Xiqian's people think that I'm a traitor. So I decided to tell you everything I know. I just hope that President Qin can send more people to protect me. I'm really afraid that Hua Xiqian will take revenge. He's always been very strict with traitors. I saved your daughter, so I hope that President Qin can protect me." After Zhang Manlin finished speaking, President Qin understood. This woman knew that she was in danger, so she told Qin Chu everything about Hua Xiqian. In exchange for Qin Chu's protection, she was obviously on Qin Chu's side. This was the true meaning of betrayal. "Protect you?" "Sure. I've been sending people to protect you. Otherwise, you would have been strangled to death by Hua Xiqian's subordinates." "I know. What I mean is, Hua Xiqian and Yan Ruoxi's wedding is fake. It's just a smokescreen. I think he'll make his move soon. So, President Qin, you have to think of a way to fight back. The sooner you get rid of him, the better." "I don't need you to teach me what to do," Qin Chu said. Chapter 28-22. Seeing Qin Chu's displeasure, Zhang Manlin quickly explained. "President Qin, I'm not trying to teach you what to do. I've been working for Hua Xiqian for the past few years and know a lot of inside information. I want to help you get rid of him as soon as possible. But the information you provide isn't very valuable. As far as I know, the warehouse at Golden Harbor was a diversion. The weapons are no longer there. I'm quite interested in the 5-year plan, but unfortunately, you know too little," Qin Chu said slowly. "Let me think. Oh, right, I think you can do this. Hua Xiqian trusts Qing the most, so he must know more. Since he's a trusted aide, I might not be able to get anything out of him even if I capture him. But I know that Qing adopted a little girl from an orphanage. I don't know if she's an illegitimate daughter, but he really loves her. He visits her every month and even saved a fund for her. I don't think even Hua Xiqian knows about this. You can capture the child and threaten him. Then, he'll tell you everything. As long as Aching agrees, you can deal with Hua Xiqian without a problem. I don't implicate the innocent, especially children. Qin Chu's eyes were cold. Zhang Manlin looked like she was in her early 20s. How could she be so evil as to ask Qin Chu to kidnap a child? It was humiliating for a woman like her to have a face similar to Hua Min's. But if we do this, we have a good chance of winning. Okay, you can go now. I know what you said. I'll get someone to investigate. Qin Chu wasn't happy about Zhang Manlin's loyalty. Instead, he was even more indifferent to her. When Zhang Manlin walked out of the office, she began to feel uneasy. She didn't know if she was doing the right thing. At night, while Zhang Manlin was sleeping in the staff dorm, she began to have nightmares. She dreamed that Hua Xiqian held a dagger and slashed at her face. Since I gave you this face, I have the right to take it back. Ah, Brother Qian, no, I beg you. I don't want to go back to how I was before. I want to be Hua Min. Be a Hua Min. Hee, how can a woman like you be qualified to be Hua Min? After he finished speaking, Hua Xiqian swung his saber down and blood splattered everywhere. Startled, Zhang Manlin woke up from her sleep. She reached out and touched her forehead. It was covered in sweat. She gasped for air. Usually, there was a female employee who shared a room with her. Unfortunately, the female employee had gone back to her hometown recently, so she had taken annual leave. For some reason, Zhang Manlin thought it was scary to be alone in this empty room. She took out her phone and looked at the time. It was 1:30 in the morning.
No one would have thought that such a young woman was the deputy director of Southside Sanatorium. She was already famous in the medical field. Mrs. Su. Hua Min's heart warmed when he saw Su Yu's mother. He had been busy with work recently. Most of the time, Su Yu would take the twins to the Su family for dinner. He and Qin Chu, on the other hand, went less and less often. Mian, I'm not interrupting your work, am I? Lady Su smiled gently. No, Mrs. Su. Come upstairs with me. Let's go. I haven't seen you in a while. I've missed you. Hua Min did not hold any grudges. He took Lady Su's arm and walked upstairs. Did you guys see that? That lady is young Master Su's mother. She's also a beauty. A few young nurses whispered behind them.
Chapter 28-24. Yeah, Lady Su is so gentle and magnanimous. No wonder she's a rich lady. She's not someone those nouveau riche wives can compare to. Young Master Su is so handsome because he takes after his mother. Anyway, I heard that Lady Su likes our vice director a lot. What a pity, if only the vice director was the daughter-in-law of the Su family. It's not a pity. The vice director's husband is even more handsome and talented. Ah. Vice principal has such a good life. She's a role model for us women. She comes from an ordinary family and didn't go to a famous school. Most importantly, she doesn't have a face that can cause the downfall of a country. But, there are so many outstanding men who like her. They're all dead set on her. That's why, a woman's inner qualities are very important. If she's just a pretty face, I'm afraid any man will get sick of her, right? Look at the hostesses in the nightclubs. All of them have thin legs, thin waists, perky faces, and perky buttocks. Their figures are so beautiful, and they speak in a coquettish voice. But aren't they still reduced to prostitutes? Yes, yes, yes. Look at the ancient times. Those who are especially beautiful are mostly famous prostitutes in the brothels. The real ladies of noble families and the lucky madams are all women who stay at home. They are extremely sophisticated and intelligent women. Our vice principal is very smart and low-key. If I were a man, I would like her too. The nurse was more interested in gossiping about Huamin's private affairs. In the lounge next to the conference room upstairs, Huamin personally poured a glass of water for Lady Su. Mrs. Su, drink some water. Don't be so polite. Mian, come, sit down. Lady Su patted the empty seat next to her and smiled at Huamin. I haven't seen you in a while. The last time I had dinner at your house was when the children came back safely. But there were too many people at that time, so I wasn't in a hurry to chat with you. You're usually busy with work, so I could only come to the hospital to see you. I heard from Suyu that you went to Jing City a while ago. Yes, the old man isn't feeling very well over there. He was directly hospitalized by the capital city military hospital for observation. Your father Su and I were worried, so we both flew over to take a look. Is there something wrong with Lord Su's body? Are you alright? I'm fine. It's just that I'm old and my blood sugar and blood pressure are high. It's an old problem. Master Lord Su is really eager to excel. Actually, at this age, he should have retired long ago. Huamin said. He wants to, but he can't stay idle. Yu is a disappointment. He's not married and doesn't have any children. Grandpa is bored when he comes back and can't stay. When it came to Suyu, Huamin's expression was a little unnatural. He was too embarrassed to say more. By the way, Mian, I heard from you that you're pregnant. Yes. Chapter 28-26. Save me, save me. Zhang Manlin realized that no matter how much she screamed, she couldn't make a sound. Because his mouth was covered tightly by someone. Then, she smelled a strange smell and her mind went blank. Her head tilted and she completely lost consciousness. She was woken up by a bucket of cold water. When she woke up again, she found that she was tied tightly to a round cement pillar. Around her was a pitch-black abandoned factory. Bitch, I finally caught you. Hearing this, Zhang Manlin raised her head and saw Ah Ching sitting in front of her. Behind him stood 4 men. Seeing Ah Ching, Zhang Manlin felt a buzz in her head. She knew that this man hated her to death. Big brother Ah Ching, she said weakly. Shut the fuck up. Who's your fucking brother? Shameless. Traitor. I hate traitors the most in my life, Ah Ching scolded with extreme disdain. Big brother Ah Ching, there really is a misunderstanding. I'm not a traitor. Zhang Manlin was still arguing. Misunderstanding. Ha. Here, listen to this. Ah Ching pressed a button on his phone and played a recording. When Zhang Manlin heard her own voice, she was immediately stunned. It was a private conversation between her and Qin Chu in his office. But, why did Ah Ching have this recording? Did Qin Chu give it to him? For a moment, Zhang Manlin's mind was in a mess. You probably didn't know that our boss had installed listening devices in Qin Chu's office and even in Qin Chu's home, right? So, the recording of your loyalty to Qin Chu, our boss heard it clearly. I also heard it, clearly. Big brother Ah Ching, it's not like that. Listen to me. I actually said that on purpose. In order to gain Qin Chu's trust, I didn't betray brother Qian. I'm still on your side. Zhang Manlin's brain worked fast. At this time, she was still finding excuses for herself. Unfortunately, Ching wasn't someone who would listen to her excuses so easily. In his heart, he already hated her to the core. Do you think I'm an idiot? You still want to quibble at this time? Let me tell you, the boss is very disappointed in you. Brother Qian, where is he? I want to see him. I have something to say to him. Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. She kept asking to see Hu Xiqian. Do you think the boss will still be willing to see you now? Why don't you take a look at yourself? Let me tell you, the boss said, he's been raising a good-for-nothing for 5 years. I think you're an ungrateful wretch. You took the boss's money and did plastic surgery to look like Miss Hua. Unfortunately, you only look like her on the outside, but you're far inferior to Miss Hua on the inside. Now that you've become successful, you even betrayed the boss and tried to kill him. Bitch Zhang, who gave you the courage to do that, huh? After saying this, Ching got up and walked over, pinching Zhang Manlin's chin and scolding her. Brother Qing, I know I was wrong. Chapter 28-27. Big Brother Qing, please, don't do it, Zhang Manlin begged. Have you never seen a woman before? How can you touch a scheming bitch like her? Aren't you afraid of getting sick? Qing turned around and scolded his men. They lowered their heads and didn't dare to make a sound. Boss told me to do as I see fit, but I'll spare your life. It's too comfortable to just kill you. Zhang Manlin looked at Qing in horror. She knew it was over. No one would come to save her. You guys, do it. Disfigure her face. No, don't touch my face. Zhang Manlin screamed hysterically. Her face, which resembled Hua Mian's, had once made her feel superior. She even thought that Qin Chu would fall in love with her. That wasn't your face to begin with. 5 years ago, boss paid for the best plastic surgeon to make you more beautiful, but what about you? How did you repay him? Big Brother Qing, I'll never do it again. I swear, don't treat me like that, okay? Zhang Manlin cried. What are you waiting for? Do it. Qing ordered. The men slowly walked toward Zhang Manlin with daggers in their hands. Don't do this to me. Zhang Manlin cried until she was out of breath. Then, with a scream, a deep cut appeared on Zhang Manlin's cheek. Blood slowly flowed down her white cheeks. Then, there was another cut, and another, and another, and another. Zhang Manlin was in so much pain that she couldn't feel anything. She passed out completely. Big Brother Qing, that's enough. After the men finished speaking, Qing turned around and looked at Zhang Manlin's bloody face. He sneered, this is what a bitch deserves. What should we do next? Leave her outside the GK Corporation as a warning to Qin Chu. Yes. Then, a few big men carried the unconscious Zhang Manlin into a van with a license plate. Then, they left her outside the GK Corporation and left. When the security guard on the night shift saw this, he immediately called the police and an ambulance. The next morning the news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread throughout the company. However, Qin Chu did not visit him. He only sent his senior officials to visit him symbolically. Miss Zhang, what happened last night? Did you see the murderer's face clearly? We've already called the police. The police will deal with it. Zhang Manlin's face was wrapped in white cloth like a mummy's. Just as she was about to say it, she hesitated. Last night, she vaguely remembered Qing mentioning that if she dared to tell the police about it, he would punish her. In that case, all his family members in the countryside would be in danger. There was no doubt about Hu Xiqian's methods. He was definitely someone who would do anything. So, Zhang Manlin changed her words. No, I didn't see his face clearly. I was knocked out. Then, do you have any enemies recently? Behind the executive, a police officer was holding a notebook and preparing to take a statement. No, Zhang Manlin denied in a low voice. If that's the case, it's probably just some robbers who want to kill you for your money. You're a girl, so be careful when you walk around at night. The police officer asked a few more questions and left. Where's President Qin? Why didn't he come to see me? After the police left, Zhang Manlin looked at the executive and asked. Chapter 28. President Qin is very busy. He just attended the opening ceremony of the new building in the development zone. He asked me to come see you and tell you to take care of yourself. The company will pay for you. You guys can leave. I don't want to see you. Zhang Manlin was furious, but she couldn't do anything about it. Miss Zhang, get out. I told you to get out. Why aren't you leaving? Zhang Manlin exploded. You guys can leave first. It's normal for a patient to be emotionally unstable after experiencing something like this, the doctor comforted. You guys get out too. All of you, get out. Zhang Manlin yelled at the doctor. We're your medical staff, no need. All of you, get out. After everyone left, Zhang Manlin took out her phone and turned on the camera. She looked at her face. Then, she screamed and smashed her phone into pieces. The news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread like wildfire in the company. During lunch, Bella and Jixin sat across from each other. Karma sure comes fast. Yeah. That woman probably dug her own grave. She's so two-faced and probably has a lot of enemies. Jixin also hated Zhang Manlin. That's great. We don't have to worry about her hanging around President Qin. By the way, did you know? Assistant Yang is coming back soon. That's great news. Our company is back to normal. No, I have to tell my sister this good news. Then, Jixin sent a voice message to Huamin. Sis, come out. Come out. What's up? What are you doing? Sis. In the hospital cafeteria. What a coincidence. We're eating too. Cut the crap. What's up? Tell me. Huamian knew that Jixin must have something to tell her since he was in such a hurry. Good news. Something happened to Zhang Manlin. Oh, about that, I know. What? You know. Yeah. When the company security found her last night, they called Qin Chu and I knew. If you know, why are you so quiet? What else can I do? Set off firecrackers to celebrate. Huamin replied with a smile while eating. No, I think, at the very least, you should make a happy post on your WeChat moments or something. For example, say the most classic sentence, good and evil will be repaid, and karma will be reincarnated. Look up if you don't believe me. Who will the heavens spare? That's not my style, Huamin denied. Sigh, that's right. My sister is so low-key. She wouldn't post something like that on her WeChat moments where she gloats over other people's misfortune. Moreover, if someone were to find out about it, they would definitely talk about it. I was thinking too simply. But sister, this time, it's really satisfying. Alright, eat your food. Huamin had expected Zhang Manlin to be in trouble. After they escaped from the kidnappers, the twins' attitude changed drastically and they strongly recommended Zhang Manlin to their parents. He even claimed that she was his savior and allowed her to enter the company. All of this had been a trap to begin with. It was a trap that Pudding set up for Zhang Manlin. Later, Pudding and Little Bean told him everything that had happened in the mountains. That woman, Zhang Manlin, was extremely heartless. In order to protect herself, she betrayed her children. Chin-Chu wanted to get rid of her at that time, but Pudding said that she didn't need her daddy's help. She had a way to get rid of her. Thus, Zhang Manlin betrayed Hua Xiqian. Disfigurement was the lightest punishment. With Hua Xiqian's temper, Zhang Manlin would have a lot of bad luck in the future. Just then, Siyut sent a WeChat message. Dr. Hua, I'm at South Side. Don't you have something to say to me? Is it convenient for me to come find you now? Thinking of Su Yu, Hua Min felt awkward. How was he going to tell him about the dating show? If he tried to persuade him to go on a dating show, would he scold him? Chapter 28:30. So what? If it doesn't work, I won't use the Qing dynasty. I'll just use the background. Okay, you win. Anyway, I'll make sure the twins have a good time. Yesterday, I took them to the audition and they looked really good. You don't know how cute they are with makeup on. Su Yu seemed to be in a good mood and kept talking to Hua Min about the company. Hua Min thought that Su Yu was so busy that he shouldn't talk about the dating show. But, thinking of Su Yu's mother's advice, Hua Min decided to give it a try. Hey, what do you think of the reality show? Reality show? It's not bad. Isn't it very popular now? Many artists don't even take on TV shows and movies. I heard that last year, an A-list male star joined a reality show and his net worth was 48 million. It's easy to make money, Siyu commented as the boss of a film and television company and an insider. Then, have you ever thought of going on a reality show? Hua Min continued to probe. Me? Su Yu was slightly surprised. Huh, are you kidding? That's what artists do. Why should I, the boss of a company, join in the fun? I don't want fans or fame. No, I saw a parent-child show 2 years ago. The boss of a film and television company brought his son to the show. I think it's very meaningful. You can give it a try and give yourself more experience. Forget it. Why is a reality show called a reality show? It's just a show. It's not real. Don't take it seriously. Some TV stations force couples in order to make the show popular. Some deliberately create rumors about actors and actresses, and some even do it for kids. It's disgusting. These people will do anything for ratings and money. Plus, reality shows have scripts and must be designed according to the scripts. I don't know if you've seen a dating show before. They invited an A-list female star and a C-list male star to be a couple, but the response wasn't great. Not long after, the female star announced that she was married to another male star. That's the effect of the show's failure. I think it's quite boring. To be honest, I don't recommend my employees to participate in reality shows because their acting skills will deteriorate. Actors are actors because they want to act, not because they want to be a vase. What the audience wants is the feeling of being fully immersed in a TV show. They don't want to see you jump between scenes. Do you understand? You're right, President Su. I understand. Hua Min. It was the first time he had seen Siyu give such a long speech in such a professional manner. His expression was adorable. Hey, it's an occupational hazard. I often say things like this in meetings. Don't take it to heart, No, I'm just giving you a suggestion. Why are you suddenly thinking about reality shows? And why are you asking so much? Don't tell me, you want Chin Chu to take the kids to a parent-child reality show. Suyu laughed. Of course not. Chapter 28:36. We don't need to ask you. You can't help but blurt it out yourself. Suyu laughed. Just then, the waiter knocked on the door and came in to serve the dishes. Oh, the dishes are here. Let's chat while we eat. Little bean, pudding, I ordered small portions for you. Am I good enough? Tang Chuan stretched his neck and asked the twins who were playing happily on the other side of the table. Emisham, you're very loyal. Little Bean gave him a thumbs up. Come on, call me uncle. Tang Chuan gestured with his finger. I'll slap your face. You want to trick us into calling you uncle with just one meal? It seems like you haven't grown up yet, Little Bean said. He's still a kid. Don't lower yourself to his level. Come on, let's continue playing. Pudding was like a little adult, playing Gamoku happily with Wei Yunchu. Tang Chuan was speechless. Ha ha ha, are you stupid now? Qin Ning couldn't stop laughing. Do you think my two babies are that easy to fool? Hua Min also laughed. Are you sure you're not looking for death by comparing your IQ with theirs? Zhu Lingling teased. Okay, I admit defeat. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's continue the topic, okay? Guys, this is definitely big news. You'll be surprised after you hear it. Tang Chuan deliberately tried to sell the topic. You ordered so many dishes. Young Master Tang, you're really generous today. Wei Liao chuckled as he looked at the dazzling array of dishes on the table. Fuck, are you guys going to listen to me or not? Tang Chuan looked helpless. Seeing that no one was cooperating with him, he glanced at Qin Chu. Brother-in-law, come on. You're the most powerful one here. Give me some face and ask me. In the end, Tang Chuan had no choice but to look at Qin Chu, the king of silence. Qin Chu was reading the important reports sent by the company on his phone, but he wasn't idle either. He heard Tang Chuan's words clearly. So, what is the big news that you know? Qin Chu actually asked obediently. Wow, my brother actually gave you face. That's not easy. Qin Ning patted Tang Chuan's shoulder. Tang Chuan was so excited that he clenched his fists and said, Thank you, my brother-in-law. Ha! Comrades, here's the thing. Isn't Shinjiani going to court soon? Well, then. Gao Ran continued to ask. Hui Yan has been looking for lawyers all this time. Most of the lawyers don't dare to take on this case because they don't want to offend us. Cut the crap and get to the point. Jiang Xiaowei smiled while adding more dishes. Sister-in-law Xiaowei, don't worry, here's the main point. So Hui Yan made a deal with a lawyer in private. Not only did she have to pay him 1,000,000 yuan in legal fees, she also had to sleep with him. Ah. Are you serious? That shouldn't be possible, right? 1,000,000 is more or less the same. It shouldn't be enough to go to bed, right? Besides, would she dare? Would young Master Shen let her do that? Chapter 28:40. Who's there? Who's there? Zhang Manlin panicked. No one spoke, but the black figure was getting closer and closer. Help! Before she could say the word help, the black figure was in front of her. Then, he covered her mouth with his hand. Under the moonlight, Zhang Manlin slowly looked up. Then, her pupils dilated, and dilated. The man in front of her had a devilish smile on his face. He was wearing a black leather jacket, and his hairstyle was different from usual. It was the first time she had seen such an unruly appearance, so she was shocked. Big Brother Qian. Zhang Manlin almost couldn't hear her own voice because it was trembling so much. Big Brother Qian. Oh, it seems like you think I'm that lovesick fool. The man's voice was a little hoarse and was indeed different from usual. Big Brother Qian. I know I've done you wrong. Please don't kill me. I don't want to die, I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. I've received the punishment I deserved. When I get out of the hospital, I'll go back to my hometown in the mountain village. I won't come back, please don't kill me. The person Zhang Manlin was most afraid of was Hua Xiqian. In fact, she didn't want to betray him in the first place. It was all because the twins and Qin Chu played a big game of chess and set Zhang Manlin up. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to do this even if she had 10 more guts. Because in the past 5 years, she knew what kind of person Hua Xiqian was. Especially when he smiled, it was frightening and made people's scalps tingle. I told you, I'm not him. He's been really kind lately. He didn't even protect a traitor like you. Is it just disfigurement? Hua Xiqian, no. Hua Xiqian's second personality, Jack, grabbed Zhang Manlin's chin tightly. Then, he stared at the bandaged face. Big Brother Qian, no. Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. She didn't even have time to think if the person in front of her was Hua Xiqian or his second personality. She only felt that if Hua Xiqian's true body appeared here, then she would definitely be dead. TSK. Since he can't bear to do it, then I'll do it for him. After all, he's responsible for the murder. That son of a bitch, how dare he take so many drugs to force me out. Jack's eyes were filled with hatred. Because Hua Xiqian had been using a lot of drugs to suppress the cranial nerves, Jack's personality had not appeared for a long time. It was rare for Hua Xiqian to stay up late and forget to take his medicine, so he took advantage of the situation. The first thing he wanted to do after coming out was to create some trouble. If I kill you before swaggering out of the hospital, the cameras will capture everything. Let's see how he deals with it then. Ha! I believe he won't be willing to go to jail. With that, Jack covered Zhang Manlin's mouth with one hand and gripped her neck with the other. I'm not mentally ill. Every word I said is true. It's really Hua Xiqian. Hurry up and arrest him. What should we do? The two policemen were in a dilemma. How about we call our director and ask him to contact Commissioner Gao? He can ask President Qin in a roundabout way. After all, she's an employee of his company, right? One of them suggested. At this moment, even Zhang Shubao wanted to despise Zhang Manlin. What does a country bumpkin like you know? It's complicated. Zhang Manlin roared. No matter how complicated it is, it's not as complicated as your heart. I'm just confused. You were born in the countryside, right? How can you be so calculative? You're always talking about this and that. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Do you think those big shots care about you? Whether it's President Hua or President Qin, are they people you can compare to? Zhang Shubao asked with disdain. I'll definitely get my revenge. I won't let them go. I'll kill them all. Zhang Manlin sat on the hospital bed and screamed. Chapter 2851. It's none of your business. Where's Huamin? Tell her to come out. I want her to give me an explanation. What explanation? You're being unreasonable and didn't listen to our advice. Now that she's dead, you're making a scene here. Disgusting. You guys go call the police. The female doctor pointed at the security guards. Soon, the police arrived. So what if you're the police? The doctor at Southside killed my mother on purpose. Where's the justice in this? Hui Yanyan said arrogantly. Ma'am, this isn't a place to make a scene. You're disrupting the order of the hospital. Come with us. Why should I go with you? You're disrupting public order. The hospital called the police. Do you know that? The police were annoyed. Don't you dare touch me. I'll sue you for molesting me. Hui Yanyan pretended to take off her clothes. The young police officers were so scared that they stepped back. No one dared to step forward, afraid of being blackmailed. Captain Ma, what should we do? Call the municipal bureau for help. The police officers could tell that Hui Yanyan wasn't an ordinary person. Since the victim was a felon, many people were involved. Half an hour after the police officers reported what happened, Gao Ran arrived with his team. Ha, good timing. Aren't you a good friend of Chief Was? Did you guys really collude with each other? Hui Yanyan stared at Gao Ran and said sarcastically. Woman, you're really pushing your luck. Come, take her away, Gao Ran said angrily. What? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you taking me away? Hui Yanyan looked up at Gao Ran provocatively. You're disrupting the hospital. Do you know how much of an impact you've brought to the hospital and the patients by making a scene here? I don't know. I only know that Huamin and Qin Chu set up a series of schemes to kill my mother, Hui Yanyan insisted. You have to have evidence before you speak. You can't just slander me for no reason. Everyone, come and take a look. The chief of the Municipal Public Security Bureau is friends with that couple, so he's biased towards them. This society is really too dark. We commoners can't live. Hui Yanyan had even instigated everyone to stir up the relationship between the public and the police. Hui Yanyan, I've realized that you're really shameless, aren't you? Your mother is a felon. How can you say that she's an innocent commoner? Why didn't you tell everyone that your mother kidnapped someone else's child and wanted to kill the hostage? After Gao Ran finished speaking, the crowd began to point at Hui Yanyan. Oh, so she's the kidnapper's daughter, how scary. What are you waiting for? Take him away. If you dare to touch me, I'll sue you for molesting me. Hui Yanyan was about to take off her jacket and throw a tantrum again. You two go and take her to the police car.